If you've been watching this channel lately, you've probably noticed a pattern. I've been saying versions of the same thing in different ways. That procrastination isn't laziness, that your brain isn't broken, that it chooses safety before productivity, that small tasks matter more than we've been told. And if you thought, okay, but how does this actually fit together? That's what this video is. Because these aren't separate ideas. They're different angles of the same system. And once you see the system, a lot of self-blaming stops making sense. Let's start where most people get stuck. Procrastination. We're taught that procrastination means you don't care enough. You're lacking discipline. You're avoiding effort. But procrastination isn't the absence of motivation. It's the presence of internal resistance. Your brain asks one question before it lets you act. Is this safe to do right now? Safe doesn't mean easy. It means predictable, emotionally manageable, low risk to your energy, identity, or nervous system. When a task feels overwhelming, vague, emotionally loaded, or tied to shame, your brain delays. Not because it's lazy, but because it's trying to prevent overload. That delay is regulation, not rebellion. This part is hard to believe because we've been told the opposite our whole lives. Your brain is never doing nothing. When it looks like you're not working, your brain is often monitoring stress, replaying past outcomes, running simulations, and conserving energy. That's why forcing productivity often backfires. Effort doesn't equal access. You can sit in front of a task for hours and get nowhere, and then suddenly solve it while doing something totally unrelated. That's not coincidence. That's your brain switching from pressure mode to processing mode. This is where everything starts to click. Your brain's top priority isn't success, achievement, or productivity. It's safety. Psychological safety, emotional safety, energy safety. If a task threatens any of those, your brain slows you down. It's why you freeze instead of starting, why you avoid things you actually care about, why you can do small, meaningless tasks but struggle with important ones. Important tasks carry emotional weight. Your brain feels that weight and says, let's not rush into this. That's not sabotage. That's protection. That's protection. This is where most productivity advice goes wrong. Your brain doesn't hate being productive. It hates unclear outcomes, undefined steps, and all or nothing expectations. When a task feels like a fog instead of a path, your brain stalls. Not because it can't do the work, but because it doesn't know where the danger might be. That's why breaking down tasks work, not because it tricks your brain, but because it makes the task feel more navigable. Tricks your brain, but because it makes the task feel more navigable. This is where really finally shows up. Small tasks aren't pathetic. They're stabilizing. They give your brain a clear start, a predictable end, and a sense of control. When everything feels like too much, small tasks become proof that you can move and act, and you are not stuck. They're not the whole solution, but they're the thing that keeps you afloat long enough to reach one. Keeps you afloat long enough to reach one. So if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Your brain isn't failing you. It's communicating. Every delay, stall, and avoidance moment is information. And the question isn't, how do I force myself to work? It's, what would make this feel safe enough to start? That question changes everything. And if any of this felt uncomfortably familiar, you're not broken. You're just learning how your brain actually works. And that's kind of the point of this channel.